This afternoon at about 9:15 French time, Armel Le Cleac'h crossed Australia's southwest point. In 28 days, 20 hours, the actual Vendee Globe leader established a new time record between Les Sables d'Olonne and the Cape Leeuwin. Felt good to cross the second cape ahead. It wasn't a crucial objective, but it's always nice. Cross one of these three mythical capes in the lead? Indeed, Alex crossed the Cape of Good Hope first, a few hours ahead of me. This time, it's the other way around. To do so, Bourg Populaire skipper broke the record established by François Gabard in 2012 by 5 days and 14 hours. A sign things are really going fast. Fast to a point that the first third of the fleet, including Thomas Ruyant, 9th, is ahead of the record time set by last edition's winner. Less rejoicing news of the afternoon. We heard both Romain Attanasio and Sebastien Joss have suffered severe damages. I was taking pictures outside this morning when I hit something, and I broke both rudders. And I only have one spare on the boat. So I hope the other one's half broken so I can try to fix it. The other one looks completely destroyed. So I'm sailing the wind in Sruff. I'm going to Cape Town, the only place where I can stop in a bay and try to fix it, see exactly what it looks like. That's it. Oh. But misery. Whereas for Sebastien Joss, his boat, while overspeeding, crashed into a wave. The stop was brutal and the shock damaged seriously the foil on the port side. Sebastien, who's sailing under heavy conditions, put the race on hold and is in permanent contact with the Gennaker team. And we got the first images of Kojiro Shiraishi since his dismasting. Up to the very end, the Japanese will have moved us. He's going to miss the Vendee Globe, but he too will be missed by the Vendee Globe. I dried my tears. It's very, very infuriating, but I'm alive. That means the sea wasn't that cruel. I'm sorry. I have no other words.
Welcome to the office. An office made of ropes and pulley and little ropes that goes around the boat all the way to the deck and are attached to a sail, believe it or not. Here we go. Let me introduce the new start motor, the new start engine of Techno First Phase Ocean. Yes, it is a sail. Thanks to Michel Desjoyaux from Mergité for his input. After days and days of hard work with sometimes a little bit of hope, we finally managed to get the right balance. We can safely say now that Techno First Phase Ocean has an engine. Well, it's pretty easy to become crazy out there, I tell you, but after days of effort, now Techno First Phase Ocean is back on the race of the Vendee Globe.
About the same speeds on the midday rankings. Alex still had about 60 miles to go to Cape Leeuwin this morning. Since midday yesterday, 5 more skippers have entered the Indian Ocean, passing the longitude of Cape of Good Hope and Agulhas, and Cape Agulhas. Nandor Fa, Stéphane Le Raison, Arnaud Boisset, Fabrice Amadeo, and Conrad Colman all passed the Cape of Good Hope yesterday. So then looking at the rankings at midday, as we said, Armel Le Cleac'h on top, Alex Thomson 107 miles behind, round about the same speeds. In third place, Sebastien Joss 610 miles behind, going quite well, but strong winds. Paul Meillat still a good solid fourth, 1,187 miles behind the leader. In fifth, Jeremy Bayou, 1,443 miles behind the leader, back in the game since his mast track problem. Jan Elias going well, 1,720 miles behind the leader. Jean-Pierre Dick 1,936.9 miles behind the leader. Still, he's made a few miles back on the leaders, and he's been going particularly well, as has Jean Le Cleac'h, 2,159 miles behind the leader. He's made 20 miles back on the leaders since yesterday. Thomas Rion also quick in that little gang of three. In ninth place, 2,293.6 miles behind the leader. And Quito de Pavon out on his own a little bit just now, with 2,951 miles behind the leader in 10th place. We're going to join Paul then. Paul, we spoke with Jean-Pierre Dick this morning. What was he saying?
Yeah, we had Jean-Pierre at 10 o'clock by phone, and Jean-Pierre was very calm. He's now out of the forbidden zone. He's now rushing, and his next target is Yanelies. He wants to go place by place, and maybe to finish by a podium at the end of the race.
That's what we're hoping, but I think that his targets are becoming a little bit more realistic as the race goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, because he's on a foiler. We don't have to forget it. He's very fast, and now he has around 25 knots of wind, so maybe he will catch him.
Here's hoping, but he's in slightly better spirits, he sounded when we spoke with him.
Yes, this morning he was quite well. He was relaxed and very focused on his race.
And I think that perhaps a little bit disappointed. He was one of the favourites going into the race, obviously, and to be in the position he's in just now, I think it's very hard to motivate himself sometimes, but he seems to be good just now.
Yeah, that's it. He was very disappointed at the start of the race, but now he's quite happy of his performance, and he's ready to go on and maybe to take a podium.
Here's hoping. Anyway, let's have a look at the second page, the international rankings as of midday. Well, Nandor Fa, we're hoping to get him live today, past the Cape of Good Hope yesterday. He's in 12th place now, 3,879 miles behind the leader. 14th, Conrad Colman. Well, we know Conrad had a few problems on Saturday, and he lost a little bit of distance, but he's still 14th, 3,950 miles behind the leader. Rich Wilson, our American skipper, in 19th. 4,352 miles behind the leader. Enda O'Coinin from Ireland in 21st, 4,479 miles behind the leader. Then Peter Harima from Holland, 23rd, 4,499 miles behind the leader. And Didac Costa, our Spanish skipper, on One Planet, One Ocean in 25th, catching up progressively to Sebastien Desmarau at 5,532 miles behind the leader. Let's have a word with Shota. We're hopefully going to join Kojiro shortly, but how is he today?
Actually, we had him on the live, on the French live just earlier, and he seemed to have a little bit of smile on his face. So yesterday he was very disappointed, of course, and we talked quite a bit with him. But today he's in better spirits, and I think it's because thanks to all the skippers and people sending him lots of good vibes.
We can see Kojiro there. Koji, how are you?
白井さん、今の心境を教えてください。
はい、こんにちは。はい、今ね、必死に笑っております。今一番辛い仕事が笑うことになる。
Yeah, he's trying to smile and to laugh and as much as he can. That's the hardest job he has to do now.
Koji, we've had so many messages from the skippers. I mean, for example, Nandor Fa saying that the spirit of Hungary will carry on with the spirit of Hugo for the rest of the race. That must make a difference for you.
いろいろとこうスキッパーから他のスキッパーからすごい、いっぱいメッセージをもらっていて、ナンドールのメッセージとかも、こうやってスピリット・オブ・ユーコー、ユーコーのスピリットをこうやって、彼の船に、乗せるというふうに言ってましたが、そのことについて、お聞かせください。
はい、はい、今回日本人初出場で多くの素晴らしいスキッパーから、仲間として受け入れられたということ、そしてこのバンデグローブに参加できて、本当に多くのスキッパー、多くのファンの方々に心から感謝申し上げます。精一杯ね、走ったんですけど、残念な結果ですけども、またね、必ず戻ってきますので、皆さんまた応援してください。
Yeah, so as the first Japanese to have competed in this race, he's very honored at the first place. But more importantly, really, to be able to compete in this race, he was able to meet with all those skippers and fans and all that. So he tried his best, and he wasn't able to finish, but he sure hopes to be here again in 4 years.
And Koji, you had sailed such a good race up till then, it was going so well.
まあでもね、昨日まで本当にすごいいいレースをね走っていましたね。
はい、すごくねいい経験させてもらいました。今ね走ってる仲間には最後までねフィニッシュしてほしいと思います。今はもう心から他のスキッパーにね、応援したいと思います。本当に皆さんね、ぜひフランスに帰ってくださいね。
Yeah, so he gained lots of good experience through this adventure, and what he hopes now is to arrive safely at port for the first time. But then he wants to really wish all the skippers the best and to all come back to France all safely, and he's cheering for them from land.
Good, Koji, thank you very much for speaking to us, and good luck, good speed on the way up to Cape Town, and we will see you in 2020.
シャイさん、じゃあ、まあ、希望峰まで、ケープタウンまでよく行ってください。安康に行ってください。
I'll be back.
Very good. He seems to be making reasonable progress. What's he have in terms of sales and?
Actually, he didn't lose any sales during this mast thing, but right now he only has the J3 on, and he isn't able to climb up the mast to put a block to be able to hoist the mainsail. But he doesn't have lots of wind. The wind is in good direction at the moment, but he's not going to have much wind coming up. But he's going to use the engine. In 3 or 4 days' time, he'll be in Cape Town, and we'll be there to welcome him back on hard land.
And what's he really like as a character?
Well,
you know him better than anybody, really. Yeah,
well, I mean, I lived with him really since April, so I was almost 24 hours with him, and he's a very inspiring person. He's just very simple, and he says right things and things that make sense. But really, it's all this. He's just a simple person, and he doesn't hide anything, or so that's just it. He's just. And
is his ambition then to go and do more IMOCA races after this? Would we see him in the Transat Jacques Vabre, the Route de Rome, and races like that? Is that? Would you imagine that would be part of his program?
He'd like to really. It all depends on sponsors he's going to get, and how the project is going to grow coming up. But really, he wants to at least now motivate himself again to be able to compete in the 2020 Vendee.
Here's hoping. And we had a nice message here. You had Morgan Lagraviere, a fellow abandoner, if you'd like to call him that. But I think that probably was a nice message for him, someone else who has unfortunately had to leave the race course.
Yeah, well, we worked with Morgan at Kairos, Concarneau, with Bilou and him and himself as well, and they had a good bond. Even though they couldn't speak the same language, they kind of understood each other on that point. So,
but in 2020, Koji will be speaking French, Spanish, English, all the languages.
Yeah, maybe, but he says he doesn't need to speak the language.
Because he's got you.
Yeah, no, but he understands, and he tells people by the language of the heart. So
Exactly, I mean, it's so true, so true. Anyway, let's have a look at the animation, the situation at the moment. Starting off in the animation with the situation with the Spirit of Hugo. We'll start with Koji's dismasting yesterday, or they lost the top third of his mast above the second spreaders. And you can see him heading up towards Cape Town. Lewis Burton out in front of that group, had a lot of wind yesterday and a few problems. Quito de Pavon just in front of him. Still a little bit lonely as Quito. A good, steady, mature race. Playing a prudent game. He knows the perils of the Vendee Globe, and he's really just trying to get to the finish line. Approaching the Kerguelens, will you see the gang of three? Will Thomas Rion, Jean Le Cleac'h and Jean-Pierre Dick, all going really well at the moment. Some of the best speeds of the race right now. Jan Elias, pretty steady. Again, a sailor finding himself with targets well ahead of him, but really just focusing on the long game. Jeremy Bayou still going quite well since last night. Paul Mea on SMA made a prudent decision to stay to the north of the low pressure system and has had the good conditions since. On the contrary, Seb Joss down on the ice exclusion barrier. He's not been so happy down there with some big seas. And Alex and Armel. Armel's escaped a little bit since yesterday. But the breezes down there have been quite awkward on the approach to Cape Leeuwin. Alex has lost a few miles on starboard jibe since then. Paul, give us another little update. You did speak with Armel on the French vacation, live from the Salon Nautique, I think, was it?
Yeah, that's it. So Armel leads the fleet. He has a new reference time at the Cape Leeuwin. He improved the reference time of François Gabard by 5 days and 14 hours. So it wasn't his goal, he said, but he's very happy to be in front of the fleet. He's very happy to be here, but the main goal is to stay here, to keep Alex behind.
How did he sound today?
He was very calm, very focused on his boat. He doesn't want to rush, he just wants to go step by step. Yeah. It's a very long race, he knows it.
I think that's the experience showing of having done 2 second places, 2 good Vendee Globes before.
Yeah, of course, he's one of the reference sailors on the race, and he proves it another time here. He's in front, and if he doesn't have any problem, he will be on the podium, for sure. What step, we will see.
Here's hoping. Anyway, let's have a look at the meteo situation. This relentless procession of low pressures in the Southern Ocean. The fleet really spanning now from Cape of Good Hope all the way across to Cape Leeuwin. Looking at the first image, you can see the leaders. The top two are close to the centre of a messy low pressure system. There's more wind to come for the leaders. You can see the breeze to come from them. It's hitting Seb Joss just now, just leaving him, and it will get to the leaders tomorrow. Jeremy Bayou coming in from the south-east in moderate northwesterly breezes, and as we said, Jean-Pierre Dick, Jean Le Cleac'h and Thomas Rion riding the front of a low-pressure system. Rion is really the best positioned and quite fast. And then if we look at the second image of the Cape of Good Hope, hopefully we'll see that the group, the real main group at the Cape of Good Hope are on the leading edge in a northwesterly breeze, than the leading edge of the front, and it's going to go more westerly over the course of today and tomorrow. Quito's to the extreme right, under the high pressure system in a moderate westerly breeze. Louis Burton is just behind him. And as we said, the leaders with slightly variable breezes, and it's going to be interesting to see. We spoke earlier with Conrad Colman. Conrad Colman had a small fire on board during the course of a Saturday, just the day after his birthday, and we asked Conrad how his birthday barbecue had gone. Conrad Colman. Your birthday barbecue then?
I did. I was actually thinking about that in the middle of all the mess, you know. People make fun of Kiwis and Australians by saying, hey, you know, put another shrimp on the barbie.
Exactly.
I put the phone on the barbie and it didn't work out. So.
What was the actual cause of the problem?
It was the solar charge controller for one of my solar panels that I get overexcited by the emotions of the day. Well, I have one series of solar panels that are no longer connected to batteries, so my capacity to charge is somewhat diminished. But it was certainly the fact that the fire burned out a lot of important cables and put the autopilot and all the instruments out of commission as well. So that was the biggest problem. And I've been able to reslice a lot of the cables and get the autopilot up and running again. So the boat's operating normally now.
It's operating at 100% now?
99, we'll say.
99 is good enough, isn't it? But you lost a sail in that, did you?
Yes, that's right. It was a long battle with me trying to steer the boat with my knees and control the winches with my hands and trying to jury rig the helm with a piece of bungee and a bit of string so the boat would drive itself for a little while. That was just too hard. The boat was out of control. It was blowing 30-35 knots of wind. I was trying to control a huge sail that was poorly furled. And so it took on life of its own, unfortunately. I was happy to get it down without it bringing down the mast. In these conditions of crisis, you have to do a series of triage, and finally keeping the mast in the boat and keeping the boat in the race is more important than losing one sail. So.
What is it you lost?
That was my big Gennaker, and so it's a sail that's really important, especially in the south, because during the periods of transition between one depression and the next, often we have to go downwind, but the sea conditions won't allow for the spinnaker. And so that was the go-to sail for the Southern Ocean, and it's really going to be a handicap without it.
And in the meantime, you're into the Indian Ocean. You've passed the Cape of Good Hope, the first really big milestone of the race.
Yeah, it's nice to start knocking down the goalpost, and one down, two to go, and I'm excited to be in the Indian Ocean. The South Atlantic with a minefield for my group. We lost a lot of time relative to the leaders, but I really enjoyed being down in the south finally, and so I'm happy to be here.
What's the weather forecast for the next 24 hours for Foresight Natural Energy?
It's pretty mild. We're on the tail end of our second big depression, and the wind is 20 to 25. Running downwind. The sea is still well built up for the last couple of days. Nothing I can handle.
So a little bit of that damage limitation for Conrad Colman. A pretty tough Saturday for him, but he's going well, and just as he said, anticipating his second depression of the Southern Ocean, past the Cape of Good Hope for the third time. It's incredible to think with Conrad's just turned 33 and he's on his third round the world race. So all credit to Conrad Colman. That's all we have time for today for Vendee Globe Live in English, our little slice of English. Armel Le Cleac'h setting records, top of the fleet, the two leaders still very tight, and everything to play for. Join us again tomorrow for Vendee Globe Live, the same time and the same place.